Hi Mithun, I quickly wanted to discuss regarding the incident which has taken place in Delhi right now. It has shaken the complete entire nation.
We should be actually speaking about the terror network that is working in this country.
What do you think, why would such people get involved into these incidences, and also do we see how we see the radicalization basically? Is there any change?
Then the next terror attack is happening in the country. It shakes the belief in the government. I have seen these incidents as a kid as well, because when I was in school, in Akhnur, our school was attacked.
Okay.
And this cross-border terrorism is not a new thing in this country. We just had a Pahalgam, right?
So how do we see this threat right now, and how far can it go now? Hi Mithun, I quickly wanted to discuss regarding the incident which has taken place in Delhi right now, our, capital of India, about the car blast. So what do you think about this car blast which has happened? Because incident like this doesn't shake only the city, it has shaken the complete entire nation, right? So what you have to say about this?
Before coming on to that, I would like to say when such incidents or the story related to such incidents are being portrayed on the screen, let's say the Kerala story, for example, you would have seen that there is a certain opposition to that, especially from the left liberals, right? So this actually forms an ecosystem that is conducive for such incidents to take place, because they know, the ones who are conducting these incidents, or the ones who are planning these things, they very well know that there is an ecosystem that is going to support them, all right, that is going to trivialize that it is an organized campaign against the country, that is going to trivialize the larger issue. So they already know it. So this is leading to organized terror attacks, be it Delhi or the Coimbatore issue. There were plenty of Mangalore issue. There were plenty of issues in the country even before this. Hundreds of people have been recruited to ISIS from a small state like Kerala. So just imagine, the terror network has been spread across the nation. And yes, this is only one of the incidents that we are talking about. But we should be actually speaking about the terror network that is working in this country, that has handlers inside and both outside. So if we are looking at the larger issue, it's something that we have to, think from a perspective where both the center and states work hand to hand. But that may not be possible in many of the states, right? Because the moment a movie like Kerala Stories was released, you would have seen the opposition that came up, or people who were against it. They were saying this is not true and all that. But ultimately, even a state CM agreed that we have hundreds of people joining ISIS. All right, so that's the kind of network.
In fact, this incident also, there is the involvement of jihadi, is what they say.
Yes. So jihad is white collar jihad. In this particular incident, you could say it's white collar jihad. We may say that we are secular, we don't try to point out at any religion, but ultimately behind all these attacks, there is one religion that is getting questioned. So it's time we look beyond secularism and understand the core issue that the country is facing at this point. And I would, like to discuss about the white collar jihad in a deeper manner, because it's not about, recruiting those people who are uneducated or, getting brainwashed at certain levels. These are people who are doctors, who are qualified. You look at the, that 9/11 incident. Those were all qualified people. They were well qualified people who are behind this. So white collar jihad is also taking shape in our nation. And it's high time that we understand the core issue and try to work out a mechanism which eliminates the jihadi elements. Let's understand jihad is an issue. It's a real problem. You can say that, let's say, love jihad. NIA has given a clean chit, or NIA doesn't say that love jihad exists. But everyone who understands the issue knows that there are different sections of jihad and different categories of jihad which is happening in this country. So why don't we discuss about this in the open? Whenever it comes to media discussions or when it comes to public debates, we try to take a subtle stance on this particular issue, but the real problem is we are not addressing it. We are not debating on this. We are not talking about it. The moment we start talking about it, this issue will actually be taken up seriously, and we will have a solution to that. Currently we don't have a solution, and these incidents, believe me, it will keep happening. Today it's Delhi, tomorrow it could be somewhere else. The jihadi elements are operating. They have been operating. Coimbatore happened, many other places happened, but we kind of brush it off, saying that it's not one community, it's not this, it's not that. We had multiple debates, multiple arguments, and finally what comes out is that we are a secular nation. Even as a secular nation, we have to address certain issues, and jihad is one of the core issues that we need to address, which we are not doing. So that discussion has to happen.
And also being the involvement of this white collar people, doctors being involved into this incident. Okay, so what do you think, why would such people get involved into these incidences? And also, do we see how we see the radicalization basically? Is there any change?
Definitely. See, radicalization, for that, education doesn't matter. All right. So I'm not blaming any religion, or I'm not blaming any community.
Because here we don't see more of, it's not because of they don't have awareness, or probably they don't have education, or they have poverty. It's the either way around is what you see.
So when you are, introduced to a certain ideology at a very young age, at a very tender age, okay, at that age you're learning about, certain principles that are not scientifically justified. So from that point onwards, your mind is getting, manipulated in a certain way. So no matter what kind of education you acquire, you are ultimately inclined to the, extremist version of the ideology, whichever is being taught to you. So yes, it's easy to influence those people who have been trained or who have been programmed to incline to this particular ideology from a very young age, right? So you may be a doctor, you may be an engineer, you may be a PhD holder or whatsoever, but the fundamental, or the the very basic foundation of yours is inclined to an extremist ideology or a principle, then the chances of you getting aligned to it, even at a higher age or even after your academic qualifications are acquired, that's very high.
The possibility is
the possibility is very high. So that's what you see in this particular case as well. You may be a doctor, you may be qualified in any domain, or you may be an expert, you may have expertise in any domain, but ultimately the fundamental problem is you have already subscribed to an ideology which is not scientifically accurate at a very young age. And this doesn't happen with any other religion, is what I would like to say. This happens only with one particular religion. Okay, I don't want to name, I mean, we all know, right?
Yes.
So even if I name it or I don't, call it out, the problem is real and we should address it. But the issue is the whole discussion around secularism kind of, keeps it aside. We don't discuss it in open. We don't want to discuss it because if at all you go to the extent of discussing that issue, they will tag you as a right wing, Sanghi. They'll give you all these tags. But as a country that believes in the idea of democracy, we should take up these discussions. We should ensure that whatever is injected into young minds is scientifically accurate. I have referred to one of the books that is being taught in the madrasas. It says that you should kill a lizard. I mean, there is an explanation to that. Okay. So why should you kill a lizard? Okay, or who gives the rains? It's Allah. Or these kind of things are being taught at a very young age. So what do you think he will subscribe to? The education that he receives at the school or at the madrasa? This is a larger debate, because the one who is more inclined to the madrasa education might not find the education at the school accurate, or vice versa. There are, of course, there are many Muslims who have not, taken this madrasa education seriously and who subscribe to the scientific format of education. But there are people who take that seriously and yet receive that scientific education or qualifications for that matter. So with these qualifications, they don't really get enlightened at that level. They would still be carrying those fundamental qualities that they would have acquired in their madrasas. That's what I feel personally. These are my personal opinions anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we get into it, it's a very, very big
Yes.
topic of discussion, I
Yes,
feel.
yes.
Okay, coming to the incident which happened, okay, they also have a big discussion about the cross-border terrorism and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you have to say on that? And probably also tell me what is the, because you have a proper knowledge of how the investigation actually takes place. So tell us how the investigators would, take up this kind of an incident further.
See, investigation would begin right from the identifying the forensics to further examination and the discovery of where these things came from, and they will definitely trace it back to where it originated, of course. But the issue is, I have seen these incidents as a kid as well, because when I was in school, okay, in Aknur, our school was attacked.
Okay.
And this cross-border terrorism is not a new thing in this country. We just had Pahalgam, right? We had Pulwama. We had so many other incidents. Aknur was attacked. Army workshop was attacked. This has been going on for a
Pretty
long
long
period,
time,
right?
yeah.
Ever since we got independence, I think this has started and it has been going on. So how do we put an end to this? The problem is these people, the ones who are handling it from outside, they have expanded their network inside the country, and there are facilitators, right? There are people who facilitate this inside the country. That is the biggest issue. Now, the PFI organization that got banned, they had links to multiple terror networks. So such terror networks were operating in this country. And what about the members who are part of it? They might still be operating in a certain way, which might be facilitating these, terror networks outside the country to actually operate, as per their desires or as per their to execute their plans. The network has to be cut off. That is very important. So what we need to do is to ensure that the network inside the organization, inside the country, has to be eliminated. That is the biggest issue. These sleeper cells or whatever you call it, they are operating in every state, right? They are active in every state. So you can't say that it's cross-border terrorism. The major problem is there are networks and there are handlers within the country who are taking care of it.
And it's a very big network.
Yes, it's a very big network. It's a very big network. Like I said, 100 people were recruited from Kerala itself to ISIS.
Yeah.
You can't even get 100 people for a sales job, if you run an HR campaign. So just imagine, that's the kind of network they have in this country. So that network has to be eliminated. And for that, police or, central investigation agencies, they have to work hand in hand. And of course, the state cooperation is much needed in this matter.
So how do we see this threat right now and how far can it go now? Any kind of a, analysm you have here?
So I personally feel that to an extent we are able to curb this, but it's an ongoing issue ultimately. So as I said, all the central agencies plus the state agencies, they have to work hand in hand. That's when you can find a solution to this. So without a centers to state coordination, it won't work properly. I can quote an example. Even during the Prime Minister's visit to one of the states, the state ADGP had mentioned certain organizations active within the state, saying that these are a threat to the Prime Minister's visit. So we need to be careful of these, organizations. So we already have an understanding that there are organizations active within the country who are capable of executing certain things. So let's be more cautious and let's monitor these agencies or these organizations very carefully, right? So that monitoring, system has to be there, and it has to be done on a regular basis. It can't be that, one terror attack, the next terror attack, and then the
Yeah.
next terror attack is happening in the country. It shakes the belief in the government.
But in fact, before the incident which happened in Delhi, the day before, I guess we got RDX. They have found RDXs also. So even, a team which is actively, working on it, but still, in spite of all that, we had that incident is something.
Yeah, somehow the intelligence network or that communication channel has to be, more refined, is what I feel. Sometimes you have the intelligence from certain agency, but the state police is not taking care of it seriously. Sometimes you have, certain information. That's what I said. It all has to be coordinated.
Yeah.
If all these agencies work together, I believe we can have a more safer environment and a safer country, for the people to live in.
How this incident has influenced the Bihar elections right now?
Definitely, they will raise it as an issue of, national security. But Bihar elections, it has an entirely different perspective, is what I feel. There are multiple perspectives to it. One is like it's Nitish Kumar's farewell election. So I think that emotion is there.
Okay.
The youth, which is not particularly aware of the Jungle Raj politics of Bihar, the Jungle Raj, which the NDA is projecting, basically. So they are saying that, it used to be Jungle Raj, but we changed it. But I think the Gen Zs, they're not quite aware of it. For them, the issues matter. So they, I think, will align with, Tejasvi Yadav or Prashant Kishore's party. Again, there is this Owaisi thing that is coming in. So he is talking about the Muslim issues, and I think he is speaking in a way which is working against RJD. So the Muslim votes will be split, is what I feel. Ultimately, I think there's a better chance for NDA in these elections.
Okay.
Given all the circumstances, plus there is a split in, Lalu's family itself. So all these factors, if you take into consideration all these factors, there is a better chance for NDA. But at the same time, we should not ignore youth votes. Women, I believe, would be more inclined to the policies that the NDA government brought forward under Nitish Kumar. So yes, this in this election, NDA's strategy might work, is what I personally feel.
Okay.
But ultimately, there are plenty of issues that are being discussed, right from job, infrastructure, and all these things. And let's see what happens.
Let's see
Yeah.
how it goes.
All these agencies work together. I believe we can have a more safer environment and a safer country, for the people to live in.
How this incident has influenced the Bihar elections right now?
Definitely, they will raise it as an issue of, national security. But Bihar elections, it has an entirely different perspective, is what I feel. There are multiple perspectives to it. One is like it's Nitish Kumar's farewell election. So I think that emotion is there.
Okay.
The youth, which is not particularly aware of the Jungle Raj politics of Bihar, the Jungle Raj, which the NDA is projecting, basically. So they are saying that, it used to be Jungle Raj, but we changed it. But I think the Gen Zs, they're not quite aware of it. For them, the issues matter. So they, I think, will align with, Tejasvi Yadav or Prashant Kishore's party. Again, there is this Owaisi thing that is coming in. So he is talking about the Muslim issues, and I think he is speaking in a way which is working against RJD. So the Muslim votes will be split, is what I feel. Ultimately, I think there's a better chance for NDA in these elections.
Okay.
Given all the circumstances, plus there is a split in, Lalu's family itself. So all these factors, if you take into consideration all these factors, there is a better chance for NDA. But at the same time, we should not ignore youth votes. Women, I believe, would be more inclined to the policies that the NDA government brought forward under Nitish Kumar. So yes, this in this election, NDA's strategy might work, is what I personally feel.
Okay.
But ultimately, there are plenty of issues that are being discussed, right from job, infrastructure, and all these things. And let's see what happens.
Let's see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Welcome, Mithun. Welcome to High on Live. What is a political analyst is in the first place? In India, the politics itself or the news itself, you say there's too much of opinion and too many headlines going here and there, right? So the actual story behind it, it's very difficult to understand.
Most of the information consumption is happening through social media nowadays.
So do you think if the younger generation, especially the Gen Z, if they take up, a stand towards it, we might see some changes? Your father is Captain Vijay Kumar.
He participated in Kargil War. Those days,
One question is, the Karnataka's next CM.